Hello, this is my first video back. This one's a bit less of a rant, a bit more of a critique on a channel. I know, who am I to judge? I barely post videos and I have 54 subscribers, so who am I to talk? But today I'm going to be going over the Normal Boots channel because they have just rebooted. And they've started a new show called Madness that I'm looking to critique. Not so much the quality of the show, because, you know, I've watched just about all of these guys. I mean, like, crazy extensive levels. I am a fan of Shane's work, Gerard's work, Austin's work, and Jared's work. But this thing they've got going on right now, Madness, their list of what games are better on the N64. They're sort of comparison debates to find out which of the two listed games are the best N64 games in general. I'm not critiquing the show so much as I'm critiquing the placement of these listings, so let me just go through this here. Okay, so as I'm looking at this list has been completed as far as I can see from their uploads. The only thing about this listing that bothers me is just these games should not be in this order. This order of games does not make sense. It doesn't. It really doesn't. This, like, Mario Party 2 versus Smash Bros. These games are so unlike, it's not even funny. Mario 64 and Mario Kart, again. Mario 64 and Mario Kart, followed by Diddy Kong Racing and Pokemon Snap. The only listing out of this whole thing that makes sense, like, in terms of a debate, is Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. And it was a fair debate. I more or less agree with the outcome, although I am a Majora's Mask fan. I'm with Gerard and Austin on this, about Majora's Mask should have been the winner just because it's the superior game. But which one is, like, you know, the most iconic or the most easiest to pick up? Ocarina of Time. I agree with it. It's fine. But this listing is so weird and backwards. Like, Mario Party 2 versus Smash Bros. It's like, okay, party game, I guess, was the theme behind that one. I think the thing that gets me the most is, like, these listings here, like Super Mario 64 versus Mario Kart 64, followed by Diddy Kong Racing and Pokemon Snap, like Paper Mario and GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie and Star Fox 64, like, all games that are so unlike each other. Super Mario 64 versus Banjo-Kazooie makes a hell of a lot more sense. Okay, like, they're both like games. They both are 3D platformers. They share the same genre, so if you needed to compare which is the better game, that makes a hell of a lot more sense than Mario 64 versus Mario Kart 64. Like, that... What? Next one is, like I said, Diddy Kong Racing and Pokemon Snap. Why aren't Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing on the same spectrum? Those are two like games. Those are two similar games. They're both in the same genre, kart racing. Not that kart racing is a genre, but you know what I mean. They're two very similar games. Which one is superior? Personally, Diddy Kong Racing would beat out Mario Kart 64 because there's more content. Yeah, the characters aren't as iconic, but the game itself. If you had Diddy Kong Racing's mechanics in Mario Kart 64, full stop, Mario Kart 64 would be the most unbeatable. Like, Diddy Kong Racing, it's a no contest for me, is that Diddy Kong Racing has way more ambitious ideas and it executes them fairly well. And it doesn't make sense to pair them like this. Paper Mario, I mean, it's on the list because of what it is. I can't complain about it being on the list in general, so much as it doesn't have a game to come off of, you know? Like, there's no game on this list that matches with Paper Mario, so it's, again, it's inclusion in the list, although fine because of it being an N64 list and, you know, which games are good. Paper Mario is definitely a good game on the N64, visually and, like, the gameplay, you know, whatever. It's fair that it's on the list, but it's matched with GoldenEye. Why wouldn't you match GoldenEye with Perfect Dark? Banjo-Kazooie and Star Fox 64. Again, Banjo-Kazooie should be up with Super Mario 64. This list is so messy and so out of place. Like, it's so confusing. It shouldn't be in this order. These games are fine to exist on a list of good games. These games are fine. The people behind the content are great. Everyone on here is entertaining. The debates are entertaining, but the listing and it The lists don't make sense. I'm not saying I would have a way easier time coming up with this list. I'm saying if it was my content, right? If I was to make this show, if I was given this arrangement of games and said make a list out of comparisons, Mario 2 and Smash Bros, I mean, they stay because of the party theme. Fair enough, I get it. Super Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie, that makes more sense. Diddy Kong Racing and Mario Kart 64, that makes more sense to me. Paper Mario and GoldenEye, I don't even know what to do with that. Like, you would have to chop Paper Mario off of this list. Again, it's hard to work with what they've got on this list, but the idea is that they're comparing so dislike games. Ocarina and Majora's Mask, that's a perfect comparison. That's fine. That is the one arrangement on this list that I can 100% get behind. The games aren't the bad part, it's the arrangement at which they're being compared. Pokemon Snap and Star Fox 64, the reason why I say you would pair those together is because they're both, I guess you could say, on rails, and both technically you could call them shooters, although Pokemon Snap is uniquely Pokemon and taking pictures of Pokemon in their habitats. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, they're both kind of like on-real quote-unquote shooters. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the content here is worth watching. All personalities involved, Shane, Gerard, Austin, Jared, and their mediator, Lee, they're all very entertaining. They all get the point across of what they're trying to do. It's just this arrangement kind of, like, bothers me. It feels very rushed, just because of how incoherent it is. It may not have been rushed. They may have sat down and thought about it for quite a while. I don't know. I'm not in the group. I don't work with these guys. I couldn't tell you a smidge of detail of what goes on behind the scenes, but if I was behind this listing, I would have rearranged it and set it up with maybe better matches. The way that they're placed is very incoherent and kind of like head scratchy. For fuck's sake, talk about scratchy! I could go on and on about this and just ramble and say the same points over and over again, but I'm gonna let you guys go with this one, and I will catch you in the next video.